are you licking my gobstopper?
Strike that. Reverse it.
Fancy punks! Lick my plate! Drainage!
It'll be 10 minutes where it's like a Steven Soderbergh Ocean's 11 movie. It's all slick and funny and stuff. Then just the most horrific shit imaginable happens.
It's because that's what the fucking movie's about, you asshole.
This fucking guy.
The Tree of Life is freaking awesome.
I'm sure you think it is.
Faded to black.
Oh, you are fucking this up.
Neon slime. My basement. Oh, but I got the right answer. Oh, no, you fucking didn't, mate.
Jared Leto, man.
You're the worst, dude. If you ever listen to this, Jared Leto, you are the fucking worst. I'd rather watch that dude, the English dude who looks like he's not done yet.
So, hell, counselor, we are now in the 9th circle, the circle of traitors. Traitors to the country. Traitors to the fellow man. Traitors to God. You look like a stunned mullet, mate. That's a what?
This movie is the opposite of getting laid.
Thank you to all our listeners who have been listening to us for over a year now. Subscribe to us on Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and any other platform that has podcasts. Visit our Patreon page, become a Patreon to get more additional content. Again, we appreciate you listening and keep watching those movies. Now, on with the show. Your phone! Where's your phone? It's life or death!
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Silver Shamrock's special showing of Rob Zombie's Halloween. Yeah!
If you guys play the Rob Zombie Halloween movie, it means the death of 1 million people! What do you not understand? Well, just say it was a bomb! It was a bomb. But just say anything! Take it off the air! You gotta believe me! Take it off the air! No, I can't prove it, but you've got to believe me! It is one of the biggest piece of shit Halloween movies ever! It's gonna kill everyone! Cut it off!
Please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
The third channel, it's still playing the movie. Turn it off now! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Now, Lee Bridges, Doug Wall, and Garrick Lane for another episode brought to you by Silver Shamrock of Tales from the Video Store. Anything but show that piece of shit on TV. Halloween Rob Zombie, you gotta turn it off. It's gonna kill millions of people. Welcome to Tales from Video Store. Halloween edition number 87! 87! How we doing, boys? What?
I love it.
I'm fine.
Great! God damn. Well, this is we kind of squeezed this one in. We had a 3-block slasher. We decided to do the anthology film Trick or Treat this week. So we'll get into that. But anyway, so everybody have a good week. Who's going trick or treating? Are we trick or treating? Is it even a thing this year?
I haven't trick or treated since the 1980s, so I don't.
You have a son though. Are you going to take him out? I'm sending River with his mother to the campground because everywhere.
To the campground.
Yeah, because everywhere that we go around here is a drive-through, and River spent like $150 on the Joker costume, and he looks great. And I'm like, well, bud, you can hang with me. And I'm going to drive you through like 4 truck or treats, and nobody's going to see your costume. Or you can go to the campground where those Trump supporters don't give a shit, and you can walk around and trick or treat and show off your good costume.
Oh, you had me there when you said campground. Now I understand.
Yeah, like a cross country.
I thought you should be wandering around a campground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like a camper. You know, campers. It's like a little city of people that sit around and drink beer. Nobody's going to wear a mask, and nobody gives a shit. They break their own rules, and nobody cares. You know what I mean? So that would be his best bet. They're going to have costume giveaways. Like, he really did put a lot of effort into this costume. So.
And money, you say?
Yeah, and money. So.
Let me ask you a question, Garrett. Which Joker is it?
Well, we couldn't really. So here was the thing: the Heath Ledger Joker authentic costume was in and around $378 when you bought it all, and because he's still growing, I could not afford it. So I went with the about 108, which actually after the wig and everything else cost about $200. Joker from the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I got in over my head. I'm like, oh well, here I'll just.
Oh, God.
He's the only kid doing trick or treats.
Wasn't it last week we were talking about how you pissed fucking money away? And you just told me you spent $200 on a goddamn Halloween costume. Yeah. You know what my mom used to do for me for fucking Halloween? What she did one year? She took a whole white sheet, cut it into strips, tied them all over, and sent me out of the house as a mummy. She spent $0 fucking on a goddamn Halloween costume. $0.
Okay. Fair enough. You're right.
Jesus.
He likes Halloween. It's my only time. Have you seen his clothes? Like, I don't spend any.
But goddamn, can't you just fucking? You could fucking buy the materials and sew the shit yourself. Cheaper
I
than.
Can't even find time to mow my fucking yard. How am I going to sew together a Joker costume?
You have a wife, right?
That does not sew.
Oh, okay. Does she have a mom?
Yes.
Does she sew?
Yes.
I'm just saying, there are ways around this, and you just failed to see them.
Yeah, well, sometimes just buying your way out of it is easier.
That's true.
And that's exactly what I did.
That's true.
And I justified it because none of the girls are going to trick or treat. So I'm like,
gotcha.
So I've only got one costume. I'll just spend all this money. It'll be the last time. By next year, he'll have pubes, and he won't give a shit anyway. This was it.
This should be the last one.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I went out with a bang.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other parenting or suggestive fucking...
No.
Alright, you good?
No.
God almighty.
Trailer Park Joker. I can't wait. Take some pictures. I really want to see him out there
is this
strutting
a
his stuff.
Psychology Today podcast, or is this a movie podcast?
Strutting his stuff on the gravel streets of wherever the fuck you're taking him. I can't wait. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Speaking of fucking just the worst shit and just bad ideas, I don't know if anybody has had the pleasure of checking out Borot, the second one that is on Amazon Prime.
I didn't watch the first one.
Oh, I have.
Well, the first one, it's Sacha Baron Cohen has a tendency to put you in that uncomfortable position, you know, with just, you know, scenes and things that he's doing and talking about that are just. I found myself like
those people are not. They're not involved, right?
I don't know, Garrick. You take a look at it and you tell me if you think these people are involved.
I don't know. It feels like I watched a little bit of one of them, and it feels like they are. I feel like it's reality pushed a little bit. I did, however, see the video of those people at that protest that stormed the stage and started pulling his camper to pieces.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
I think they know they're meeting someone, but they don't know who.
Yeah.
I think they're like, stand here, someone's going to come up and talk to you, but they don't know it's going to be Sacha Baron Cohen as such and such. That's why they can get the reaction.
But goddamn,
was it good?
Yeah.
Good? I don't know.
No, it's very funny.
I mean, it's
when that girl comes out of the box.
Yeah.
And he's like, stable it back, hurry, nail it back.
Because it was supposed to be this monkey that the president of Kazakhstan wanted him to give this monkey to Mike Pence. But she snuck into the box and then killed and ate the monkey, apparently. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a movie. It's like Jackass.
I was going to say, it's Jackass with a brain.
I mean...
Or with a political agenda.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. It's just you unleash this fucking... You know, this guy and this girl, and they're acting like they're from... You know, the middle of Europe, and you put them around like these Southerners that don't know any better. And I mean, I can't knock it. I just can't knock it. Because I think that Sasha, whether you like him or you hate him, I think he is one of those brilliant people that's able to, he has his own thing. He doesn't really give a shit what anybody thinks about it. And I appreciate that. And if you are a fan of his and you have not yet watched Borat Part 2 that is available on Amazon Prime, I highly, highly recommend it. Whether you like him or you hate him, just see if you can get through it. I mean, there were times.
I love it, man.
There were times, Lee, where I had to turn away. I could, like, when they're at the ball and the chick starts dancing. I had to put my hand up. I was like, I can't watch this. I'm 45 fucking years old. What the fuck am I getting embarrassed about watching a movie? It was so fucking embarrassing. I was like, I can't watch this. And there were several other parts where I thought I felt the same, but I was able to muscle
Just
through.
very uncomfortable. Like, oh my god, that's really happening to that poor person.
Yes, over and over and over, and to varying degrees. But the grand
the guy in the phone that was hilarious. That was brilliant. Where he's doing the FaceTime and he says, "You need to stop talking."
Yeah.
I can't understand. And then he puts the Pornhub.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's just.
The guy's just like, I think he's getting it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's getting it. Okay, yeah.
I loved him, man. He was great and sweet. He's great in everything.
Yeah,
he really is great in everything. I don't.
Supremely talented.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe in all his beliefs. I think him and I, if we had a couple of bourbons in us, would probably disagree on a lot of shit. But I would still like.
Well, I don't have to like somebody to respect them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I and I certainly respect Sasha. And this, like, just.
And the girl who plays the daughter goes for broke.
Oh, she does.
She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
Who is she?
I don't know. Some 24, 25-year-old actress.
Who was probably told, you're going to be in the next Borot movie. And she was like, okay. And her manager probably said, and this is your chance to be something very special or be absolutely nothing. And she just was like, let's go.
Oh, she's, like Lee said, she does not pull any punches in this.
Oh,
as much as Sasha goes for broke in all of his scenes, she's right there beside him. And in some ways, she takes it further than he does.
Oh, yeah.
And they...
Like the dancing.
Yeah, the dancing was just enough to... I couldn't even stand it. I was like, Jesus, God, I can't watch this. But very, very something special, whether you love him or hate him. Give Borat. What were you calling him? Borat? Borat 2, as Garrick calls it.
Even if you don't you disagree with everything he thinks and as a person, if you can't see that some of that is funny.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. He's very outspoken about how he feels about a lot of things, and some of that stuff I kind of disagree with. But at the same time, man, I do respect him, and I think his comedy is hilarious, and his acting is great. And we'll get into that when we get into what I watch.
I mean, look, the scene in the fucking synagogue, for Christ's sake. I mean, God almighty, dude. I mean,
I gotta watch this now.
And then at the end, the grand finale with your favorite, your boy, Giuliani, is just, oh fuck, man. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I loved it. And I shied away at least 5 different occasions during this 95-minute movie where I was like, God damn, I can't watch this.
Wow. Yeah. So it's almost brilliant. It's almost brilliant.
No, it is brilliant. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's anything but. You can't make something like this and not be a genius, dude. Whether you think it's toilet humor or not, the way that the whole thing comes together, the way he's able to fit this whole thing together, is fucking brilliant, dude.
Yeah,
That'll be next on my list.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I started watching it.
Just wanted to throw that in.
I watched I watched up until she was getting trained, but I wasn't really watching it. I was cleaning, so I wasn't really watching it. So
you don't even really have to watch it, but there's some scenes that are just... he's in this cabin with these fucking redneck dudes, and they're talking about the virus, and he's walking around with a magnifying glass and like a pan, and he's like, there it is, and like banging it on the wall. Dude, it's so funny. You know, and this guy's walking behind him and spritzing it with fucking Lysol. It's just the best shit I've ever seen. Because these guys, I mean, like you say, am I 100% sure that these guys aren't, you know, kind of involved in this? No. But, man, it sure doesn't seem like it.
That one guy in the cage, he says, how many girls do you usually get in one of these cages?
Yeah.
He's like, one. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's good.
All right, so there you go. Well, for what we watched, is it Borat?
Well, it sure as fuck isn't Borat.
Borat, yeah.
Damn.
Fuck off. God. Hey, speaking of, since you always complain, do you like the new aroma in the office? Doesn't it smell good?
It is the worst.
Are you kidding me?
It's the worst kind of cologne. I feel like it's from 1988, and this is what, like, Michael Douglas's fucking nutsack smells like when he was filming fucking Wall Street. This is the worst fucking smell in here, Lee. Thank God. Thank your lucky stripes that you're fucking where you are and you're not here beside of me. I can barely fucking breathe in here. Jesus Christ.
What is it, Garrett?
It's just, I don't know, my wife, when I was in Atlanta, she cleaned she deep cleaned the office, man, and put some like of those little Glade plug-in things in, and it smells good in here finally. It doesn't smell like farm, and this motherfucker, every time he comes in here...
It's like 1987 coked out douchebag businessman. This is what it smells like in here. Like the worst fucking smell. Oh my God.
Alright, let's get on with this. Jesus Christ, we're aiming for another long one. You got some news, or do you want... I've got some news, but go ahead, Lee. Did you pick up some news so we're not done whatever?
Yeah, first, because my only news story is my douchebag of the week, so go ahead.
Well, Halloween 3 script reading with Danielle Harris to stream live on YouTube. Now, what sucks is by the time that this comes out, this is going to be happening tonight, the 28th. By the time this comes out on the 30th, it would have already gone and passed. But it'll probably be on YouTube forever. But Scripts Gone Wild is a monthly script reading series where they take a group of suspecting celebs, filmmakers, and influencers, put a movie script and some alcohol in their hands, and they see what happens. It's like a drinking game, and anytime a reader flubs one of his lines, misses their cue, they drink while they read this script. I mean, that just sounds brilliant. How have I not ever known about something like this? This is fantastic. I can't wait to watch it. And Danielle Harris, that's right, DanielleHarris.com at Horror Girl, or Horror Gal on Instagram, is going to be doing Halloween 3, man. This sounds really cool. What do you think about that, Lee? That sounds pretty fun, yeah?
It is so cool. I've not heard that service either, but that is actually... Yeah, that's a very good idea, because these script readings, they've begun, like they did I think you talked about the Fast Times when...
it was brilliant.
And I think they did, like, The Princess Bride. Like, these things are becoming more and more popular, and having it be, like, a regular thing. And adding the alcohol is a good idea. Because, you know, reading through a script out loud like that, doing a table read, is kind of hard. It's awkward, you know, because you're not really acting it. You're just, you know. So that'll be interesting. I'll have to check that out myself.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And now, speaking of DanielleHarris.com, Horror Girl on Instagram, we've got she's actually directing an all-female slasher titled Sequel with, guess who? Joe Dante. So she's got some stuff in the works, man. My girl.
Very nice.
Got some irons in the fire.
Yeah, got some irons in the fire, man. I'm kind of excited about that.
I was actually listening to Joe Dante's podcast the other day, and he has a script that he's been trying to make for years. about when Roger Corman directed the movie The Trip, and it basically ends with Jack Nicholson giving Roger Corman acid, and supposedly it's like he's been trying to make it for years, but every time he gets like an actor to play Roger Corman, they get to star in a hit movie, and they can no longer afford them. Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad Joe Dante's still doing things because he's a super talented guy. He's but in this sort of modern, since like the last 10, 15 years, his sort of movie has been sort of, it no longer exists. The Gremlins, that sort of budget of movie. Really. He's not really a superhero movie director.
Right.
So I'm glad that he's still working too.
Yeah, I am too, man. He's great. And there was an article, and I don't think we'll ever see it, but Sam Elliott, I don't know if you saw it. There is a 3-hour and 20-minute cut of Roadhouse. The original cut of that movie was 3 hours and 20 minutes before they cut it down, and Sam Elliott said all his best stuff was taken out. I wonder where and how the hell I can find that 3-hour and 20-minute cut of Roadhouse. Not that I need to see it. It's probably obviously 3 hours and 20 minutes of Roadhouse may be too much, but I would still love to see what they took out of that movie.
Interesting.
Well, now that they're doing the Snyder cut of Justice League, which is going to be like 4.5 hours on HBO Max. Maybe that is something that these streaming services could get into, having exclusive rights to these like director's cuts of movies, and not even some of them aren't even really director's cuts. They're just sort of the first assembly or whatever. But it would still be interesting to see.
Oh, I think I would love to see some. There's probably some that are just awesome. Us being film guys. I mean, an extra hour Roadhouse, I could at least sit through once, even if it's. Even if it's off, it'd be one of those where I watch it and go, okay, I still like the hour and a half version, but that was pretty cool. I like to see all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I wonder if there's a cut somewhere. I mean, that was old. I wonder if there's a canister of film somewhere or a beta tape with that 3-hour and 20-minute cut on it.
I think a lot of that stuff doesn't make it. Like, I can't remember which director it was. He was talking about one of his films, and he said basically the company that owned that footage no longer existed, and he said it probably just got thrown away.
Right. Yeah.
So really, it decides, on the sort of the trail of ownership after it's released.
They would have to go back to like Rowdy's notes and find the editor's cuts, and then do the telecine. And get it all back out and almost recreate it. You know what I mean? Which then, of course, they're like, well, we're not going to do that for even Roadhouse.
No.
But, yeah, that would be a lot. That'd be some crazy. I'd like having to pull actual paper or handwritten notes out of a folder somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big process.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, you got a douchebag for the week for us?
Well, it's not really a douchebag of the week as a person. It's just, it's basically my douchebag of the week is HBO and HBO Max, because I subscribed to it on Hulu. They had a deal where you could, for like $11.50 a month for the first year, instead of paying the $16, you get it for $12. I said, well, that's not a bad deal. I'll do that. So I subscribed to it on Hulu, and I was looking for various things, like that new Robert Zemeckis, the remake of The Witches came out. And I was just scrolling for it, and it wasn't on there. I couldn't find it. And last night I figured out what it is. If you subscribe to HBO Max through, like, Roku, Hulu, anything like that, you can't see, they don't give you all the stuff. You have to download the app on your phone or go online, and then you can sign in with your Hulu or Roku sign in, and they give it to you access on your phone. It's like, why am I having? It's like, so basically to watch this movie, I had to go on my laptop, plug an HDMI cable from my laptop to my TV, and watch it like that. Like HBO is like, it's like they're making it the most convoluted way to watch things. Like, you can get it on Hulu, but you get like 70% of the content.
You have to watch it. It's on the app. You have to watch it on the HBO
There's
Max.
some stuff that's app only. You know, like all their originals and stuff.
Of course.
All the HBO Max originals. It's like, what? That just seems like, because I know they're trying to compete with Netflix, basically. And it seems like they're doing it in the most back-assward way possible. You know. I don't know. That's really because it's just, it was just way too, you know, if I got to break out special cables to watch something, you know, it's not 1986. You know, I shouldn't have to have you know, you remember when you had to turn your channel 3 or 4 to get the VCR to work?
Yes.
You know, yeah. If I'm doing that shit, then something has gone wrong.
That's true. That's true. That's pretty messed up. I don't have HBO Max, so I wouldn't know. But that sounds like something where they're gonna, you know, slowly take it away from Hulu and put it all in their app, and then they're gonna have commercials, and they're gonna do all this and this.
Yeah, like I have just regular, what the fuck is it, HBO Go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has all their content. But the non-HBO stuff that they have acquired recently, I don't get.
Yeah, it has. Oh, no, I will give them that. It has Turner Classic Movies, it has Cartoon Network, it has Cartoon Collection.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of stuff on there, but you can only watch it on the app.
Yeah,
so you basically have to watch it on your phone. Or not at all. And
that's fucking stupid.
It's just like, so I haven't for the next month because I've already paid for it, but I immediately canceled the subscription. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Who the fuck wants to watch a movie on their phone, man?
Especially,
And like Lee said, it's like, I've got it hooked up to my shit. Why?
They've already taken our theaters away. Don't take my freaking 47-inch HDMI TV, plasma TV away.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Fuck you, HBO.
Is this your fanny pack?
Square in the ass. Don't pull it. It's still open. It's got all my GoPro stuff in it.
This is your fanny pack?
It's just...
It's fine. Just say yes, Doug. This is my fanny pack.
Yes, Doug, it's my fanny
Fucking
pack.
chooch. Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
What's
up, white dog?
So, this week, we did Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Yes. It's, Lee, we're going to do it?
Absolutely. I'd say, on paper, it's a 2009 movie, but it was supposed to be released in 2007. But Warner Brothers just, for whatever reason, didn't want to release it.
Yeah, it's probably shot in, like 2005 or 6?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's an anthology movie that all takes place on Halloween night. And I was actually talking about an anthology movie, I think, last week. The Mortuary Collection, which I watched on Shudder. And I was talking about how a lot of anthology collections, they fail because the framing story is very weak. Well, this movie just completely does away with that because there is no framing story. The story is it cuts back and forth. You know, it all happens. It's all basically, it's an anthology that's not an anthology. It's also a one story, but they're all connected and it's all on the same night.
It's kind of like Pulp Fiction. It's kind of like the structure of Pulp Fiction, where everything kind of interweaves, but it doesn't.
Right, exactly. But it does have the sort of the Tales from the Crypt individual horror stories aspect to it. But you're right, it is more of a interconnected universe Pulp Fiction type movie. And I really like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I would say that it's better than Creep Show or Tales from the Crypt. I think it was very well executed.
It's not better than Creep Show.
It's not better than Creep Show.
Nothing's ever going to be better than Creep Show.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm just saying. It falls in that timeline where it can never be beaten. Fucking white dog. Anyway, but I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was really cool. And anytime you're able to put, like, hot, slutty teenage werewolves in there, like, eating people, then
I was only
it's a
disappointed
fucking
because
win.
I thought Anna showed her breast in this movie.
But everybody else did, so it was fine.
No, Anna, we needed Paquin. Okay.
Suki.
Suki.
I'm pretty sure you've seen them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember them very well. Suki.
I think you could probably draw them from memory.
I probably could.
Or from memory, if you will.
Look, very good. So here's my only complaint, and I hate this. And this is this is completely petty, but it is. I can never, ever like or take Dylan Baker seriously after his role in Happiness.
Yeah.
And he is a douchebag piece of shit in this, and I hate him. If I saw him in person, I would probably punch him in the face. I hate him that much because he's so
associated with that character.
Yeah, and he's creepy in this. And then when that dude's throwing up with a fat dude, and everybody loves to see a fat dude throw up like projectile vomit chocolate. Like everybody likes that. But I'm just like, God, I hate you. You are, and then in Happiness, I can't.
Why did you even have to bring it up, dude?
See, I ruined it.
You just ruined everything by even bringing by even saying the name. God. Ugh.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's like William H. Macy. I love William H. Macy, but he's the Fargo guy. Even in his cool roles, even the cool roles that he's been in since then, he's still fucking Fargo. He's that fucking schlub, and that's how I see Dylan Baker. Every time I see him, I'm like, you're a fucking pedophile from Happiness, you asshole, and I'll never take you serious. If he was like the leading, I would not watch the movie if he was the lead hero in some freaking spy thriller. I'd be like, that's fucking Dylan Baker. He's a pedophile, and fuck him, I'm not watching this movie.
But he's not.
I know. But
he's great. He's really a very accomplished and a really
I know, but I can't
versatile actor.
I can't unsee Happiness. And
who the fuck can?
Yeah,
nobody can.
Wow.
God damn, why'd you even have to bring it up? You just fucking ruined everything.
That's what I'm thinking about it.
Damn. Fuck.
No, anyway, yes, it was very slickly well done. I'm sure lots of those kids were messed with by the producer Bryan Singer during the production.
I wonder how many of them got. Yeah. Well, hopefully none, but. But we're talking about Singer here, so.
We're talking about Bryan Singer, another piece of shit that's like Dylan Baker.
He's the real Dylan Baker.
He's the real Happiness.
He's the real
character.
Yeah, he's the one
they're not equally the same.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, Dylan Baker, I really do respect you, and I'm not. You're great. You're a great actor, and you're so great that every time I see you now, I just think of your
associated
role,
with that one role.
And I'm sorry.
How good an actor he truly is.
He might actually. Yeah, you're right. He might actually appreciate that. And go, oh, good. I'm glad you hate me. Bill Maplewood. That was his character, Bill Maplewood. Fucking Bryan Singer is Bill Maplewood.
Fucking Bill Maplewood wannabe motherfucker for sure. Ugh.
Yeah, so I loved it. I loved every story. I loved the build of the werewolves, like how they did that, how that all turned out. Mm-hmm. When they go down in the elevator for the bus, and how the bus was connected to the Sam part, which was the little creature that kept showing up and killing people. I mean, it's just great, man. It looked good. It sounded good. Everything about it was really good, and I think it's a must see for.
I don't know how I missed it.
You'd never seen it?
I'd never seen it. This was my first time ever watching it.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, my notes. Really cool. How did I ever miss this?
It was dumped on DVD in about 2009 or 10.
Yeah.
It was not released in the theaters. It was, the weird thing is the merch was out in 2007, so you could go to Hot Topic and get a Sam shirt or figure 2 years before the movie came out, because Warner Brothers just did not want to release it. Which, with the success of the True Blood show, I never understood that.
I don't know.
And Warner Brothers also owns HBO, so they have known how successful that was. Yeah, and it's not like it's just a complete turd that they weren't going to. I mean, it wasn't that expensive a movie to begin with.
No.
Right. Well, and the Fangoria has the Chainsaw Awards every year, and in 2010. It got the best limited release direct-to-video film, and guess what? Bill Maplewood, Dylan Baker, got best supporting actor. He's really good in the movie. Yeah, everybody saw the movie. I mean, the movie's that good that everybody has seen it. It's just one of those that kind of slips through the cracks, I guess, and then turns up later as a quote-unquote cult classic kind of thing. I mean, it's a tight hour and 20 minutes. It's not even an hour and 30 minutes, and it's great. Every minute of it's fantastic.
Yeah, it flows.
Yeah, how they get the pumpkins and all. Yeah, it runs. I mean, it's,
like there's no lulls or anything. It just bounces from story to story to story. Really well made. I like it.
And I love when you see people from a previous story, like in the background, those shots.
Yeah.
Like you see in the opening scene with the wife that gets killed, you see them walking around throughout the movie.
And then at the end,
I love stuff.
And then Sam comes out after sparing the old man, the bus driver's life, and you see he's standing at the tree, and the movie's starting across the street with the two couples coming
right.
in. And right when he blows the pumpkin out, which you're not supposed to do is one of the rules, Sam decides to head over there. Like it ties it all in, man. It was great. It's great, man. It's a quick watch.
And I love that Brian Cox is in this movie.
Yes.
Like Brian Cox should not be in this movie.
Mr. Krieg.
He's a little haggard.
Well, he's the bus driver.
Yeah.
So his life has probably been.
Thank you. I needed that explained to me, you prick.
All right.
Just kidding.
God.
When he agreed to do the movie, they said, "What should you look like?" He said, "I want to look like John Carpenter."
I am right now because I'm alive in this fucking office.
But yes, say that again, Lee. I'm sorry. We're badgering.
That's no problem. But when Brian Cox agreed to be in the movie, one of his stipulations was he wanted to look like John Carpenter.
Oh, nice.
When he made him up, the wig and everything. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's so perfect.
I can see it.
Yeah.
And even the kid, Dylan Baker's kid, you think he kills him, and then you realize that the kid's in on. I mean, it was just great. It's great. I'm fighting. River wanted to watch it, and I'm fighting because there's really not.
I watched it with Oliver.
Yeah, so I think it's good.
I mean,
there's that one part of the video.
There's some language and there's a couple boobs, but outside of that, it's not too bloody or gory or like. I didn't feel like off the rails. I wasn't like, close your eyes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, like Garrett compared it to Creepshow, I think that's those similar movies. Like I watched Creepshow when I was very young.
Yeah.
And but I didn't find it like all that frightening, like because it's such a similar to this. It's such a light movie, even though there is very violent things happening. It's not like letting a 7-year-old watch Hellraiser. It's a different. I mean, it's violent and it's R-rated, but it's a different type. It's it is like a horror comic. It is like an old Tales from the Crypt comic come to life.
Like you can't confuse this in real life.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like it's definitely like a story, and if
a bunch of girls turn into giant animatronic werewolves. I mean, they're And I love the amount of practical in this movie.
Oh yeah, and I loved how they did that. It was very well done the way they built that in because you really didn't know. You know what I mean? You knew something. The first time I watched it, I knew something, but then after when they finally have all these people and they start eating them, it's you go, oh man, that was cool how they did that, how they built that up.
They dropped some hints.
Yeah.
But
and she was Red Riding Hood, which that was her character, which makes. And we've completely ruined this movie for anybody. Anybody who's
not seen it,
it's pretty much ruined.
Well, I mean,
But yes, so it's a 100% must. It's a rental.
Absolutely.
It's a must rental in the next week, or actually, you'll be listening to this on the day of Halloween. You should download it for $3. It's only an hour and 20 minutes of your time, and it's a great piece for Halloween.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah, it's like a Halloween movie that I will look for. Not every Halloween, but maybe every other. Or every few years. Like, I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, like, whereas I would watch Halloween, the original, every year.
Yeah.
My select few, Friday the 13th, yada, yada, yada. This one I would do every 2 years.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, did anybody watch anything else really awesome this week that would top Trick or Treat? Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying that Creepshow is better than Trick or Treat?
Mm-hmm.
And then and Trick or Treat is better than Tales of the Crypts.
I'm not sure exactly what's happening right now.
Just saying.
What are you saying?
We're going to post that up on the Facebook page. We're going to see what everybody
Tales
else
from the
thinks.
Crypt was always a low rent version.
True.
You know, and
But it's the same kind of storytelling as Trick or Treat.
Right.
yeah,
I would put Creep Show above Trick or Treat. I'll say that.
Creep Show is Creep Show, dude. It's ingrained. It's in my DNA. Like, I've seen both of them fucking at least 50 times. Like we was talking about, like, that was not necessarily what I considered to be a horror movie when I was a kid. And I watched it, probably 9, 10 years old. I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't really scary. I mean, some of them were kind of creepy, like Lee said, but most of them were just, like, I thought it was, like, witty and, like, cool and, kind of off, kind of crooked.
Right.
And that's why I appreciate it. Same for this. This is great. If Trick or Treat came out in fucking 1983, it would probably be one of my favorite Halloween associated movies, but it's not. And it'll never be. You can't put it there. So.
Yeah.
But for modern,
Here's something you rarely hear me say. I completely agree with Doug.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll post it up and see if everybody else agrees with you guys.
Okay.
All right. What'd you watch?
Lee?
Me? Am I going first? Okay. I watched a few things. Not my a lot of my stuff was not my normal stuff, but I watched the first thing I watched is something I've been watching the past couple weeks that I forgot to mention. It's a documentary series on the Comedy Store in LA, the comedy nightclub, the Comedy Store, and it's I think I'm 4 episodes in, and it's just got interesting stuff in it. Like I've never seen Michael Keaton stand up before. And they had, like, footage of that. And that was just weird to see him and, like, Letterman in, like, 1975, And just, like, talks about that. Talks about Sam Kinison was sort of the big guy there, Richard Pryor being there. Just it's on Showtime. And it's, I'm not sure how many episodes. There's 4 episodes as of now. And it's very well done, And talks about, the family, only Pauly Shore's mom who owned the place. And basically how she would, like, sort of position people like, Richard Pryor and Jim Carrey and Sam Kinison. She could basically tell you who's going to be famous. And that's who she would push to be on, like, the Tonight Show and things like that. And just very well done. And, if you're a fan of stand-up comedy, there's no way you wouldn't enjoy it.
What's it called?
What's that?
What's it called?
It's just called The Comedy Store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my favorite thing I've seen, they just have an interview where Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey are just sitting around bullshitting for like 10 minutes. And just seeing them make each other laugh, they have been for like 30 years, was just very funny. Because they would like tell each other bits they used to do. Like, you used to do this shit and it was great. And it was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And other than that, I watched a movie, my movie that I would not have picked out, but I did end up enjoying. It's called The Peanut Butter Falcon. And it's sort of I guess you say it's like an adult fairy tale. Like, it takes place in the Outer Banks, North Carolina.
I've heard a lot of people
like
this movie.
What's that?
I said I've heard a lot of people really like this movie. I keep hearing people go, man, you should see that.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm generally of the opinion that if when people talk about feel good movies, I'm generally of the opinion if you're an adult and you want to feel good, go get a fucking foot rub. Because most feel good movies are just not my thing. I'll be honest with you. But this one was very, very good. This young guy named Travis who has severe Down syndrome. The state of North Carolina has put him in the only place they can put him is in an old folks home. So he hangs out with Bruce Dern all day, and he wants to be a pro wrestler. So Bruce Dern basically helps him break out of the old folks' home. And then he runs into Shia LaBeouf, who's this crab fisherman because it's on the Outer Banks, who's just committed arson. So they end up running away together to try to find this wrestling school so this kid can be a pro wrestler. And it's just a very sweet movie. Like, it's very like they make a raft. They're going down the river on the Outer Banks, and it's just he's trying to get him to this school so he can be a pro wrestler. And like I said, it's just a very sweet movie. There's not much other to it than that. There's a woman from the old folks home who is looking for him because obviously you can't. If someone's awarded the state, they have to be accounted for. And I really enjoyed it. It's very funny, and it's nothing. It's sweet and sentimental, but it's not saccharine. It's not, like there's like it's like almost like a sort of like a folk tale, but then like something like violent, like real life will happen in it. So it sort of breaks that sort of folksiness of it. But I highly enjoy it.
Did you hear how hard Lee struggled to explain a sweet movie? Now, if that was a kung fu movie, he'd had all his adjectives and his nouns down. He was struggling.
Yeah.
Saccharine, sugar.
He got through it.
I don't know.
He got through it. I was just.
Yeah, now that'd have been a monster movie. He'd had it all set. Right. He'd had it done.
It's an interesting sounding movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like I doubt I'll ever rewatch it, but yeah, it was a very good movie.
Nice.
And then, like a lot of things, you can tell it actually was shot in the Outer Banks because nothing else really looks like that.
Yeah, nothing.
What's that, Garrett?
Yeah, I said nothing. Like the Outer Banks show. Sorry, the Outer Banks show is shot in Savannah. And it doesn't look, or Charleston, and it doesn't look like the Outer Banks.
It looks like Charleston.
It looks like Charleston.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But last week we talked about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I said I had not seen any of the previous ones from the last 10 years.
Oh, no!
So I watched. What's that?
I said, oh, no!
Yep, I watched the one from 2013, which I think is just called Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, even though I saw it in 2D. But it was, it's not terrible, but it's very odd, the choices they make.
Who's in this one?
Like the guy who plays, what's that?
Who is in this one? So I can kind of...
the tall, dark-haired girl who's in the first season is True Detective, who played Woody Harrelson's girlfriend.
Okay.
Michelle Monaghan.
Alexander something, I cannot remember.
She's in the Mission Impossible movies, too. Michelle Monaghan.
No.
You're talking about the young girl that was the mistress. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
the mistress. She is the main character of this. But here's the weird thing. It starts the morning after the first one. It starts the morning after in 1975, right? So a sheriff shows up at the Sawyer household. Then a posse shows up. And they burn down the house and they're shooting into it. But they never find Leatherface's body. I will give them credit for having Bill Moseley play the cook, the dad / older brother from the first one. So that's cool. But then it flashes to when somebody finds a baby from the Sawyer family who is the girl from True Detective. So then it flashes to when she's an adult. But I was like, well, if it starts the morning after the original, this would be like 1995. Nope, it's 2012. So she's not 40 years old or 35 years old, she's 20. But I guess they don't really expect you to pay attention to the dates. So that was kind of weird.
Oh, that's kind of strange.
Also, the guy who plays Leatherface, he's very tall, but he is not very large. Like he's like, I'd say he's about 6'5", but he's about your size, Doug, as far as width goes.
Yeah.
And he's just not intimidating at all. Like, and like the Gunnar Hansen from the first one, he was like, he was like a mountain of a guy. And like when he like did something, he like, the way he moved the stuff, he just, this guy, plus the mask doesn't look very good. Looks very rubbery. And but I mean, it's not the worst one. I'll say that. But it's I wouldn't watch it again. It does approach it in an interesting way. Leatherface is not necessarily the villain. I'll say that. So I don't want to say anything else because it's on Prime right now. I don't want to ruin it for anybody because I think a lot of people haven't seen it. But hey, if you like me and you've not seen it, check it out. Wasn't really my cup of tea, but that's okay. But that's it. That's all I can think of.
Doug?
I watched a couple things.
Okay.
Let's see. First thing that I watched with the boy, if you're a dad around who has a son and you're around my age, you're in your mid-40s, at some point in your life, or your kid's life, I'm sure you have probably said this, because I've said this to him 1,000 times. Simmer down, Beavis. If we're in the car, like, out somewhere and he's wilding out, and, he's asked me for years, like, who's Beavis? Like, what's Beavis and Butthead? He because the old episodes, like, you can't find them. So I found Beavis and Butthead Do America from 1996, the Mike Judge movie that I haven't seen probably since then. And man, he and I have had a lot of fun watching a lot of different movies, some more than others. This might have been the best time for both of us watching a movie that I can recall. It was that much fun, and he just couldn't stand it. He just thought it. Immediately he's like, I understand now. He got it. And then it was nothing but like fart jokes for the rest of the weekend, which was awesome. The Robert Stack in this, and Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, all in their voices to these characters in this. I'm not going to go into it. It's just if you're not familiar with Beavis and Butthead and you don't know anything about it, give Beavis and Butthead Do America a day in court. It's not terrible. In fact, I really enjoyed it. For what
I don't remember it, but I remember it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Then I watched. I don't know why I watched it. Vampires, fucking Carpenter from '98.
Right. Yeah.
With James Woods as a Snake Plissken, like, vampire hunter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like a dollar store Snake Plissken.
Yeah. Like, basically, and the music is like, it's like you're in From Dusk Till Dawn, but it's like a different universe of these vampires. That's kind of how it felt. And it kind of felt, after watching it, I was like, I think maybe that was Carpenter's kind of nod to Dusk Till Dawn, maybe. Because they're very, very similar, a lot of it is. A lot of the humor, a lot of the looks, like the crazy weapons and stuff like that. They're very, very similar. Rodriguez's, to me, work better, obviously.
Right.
But, it's fine. He's got a mess of, like, heavily armed vampire killers. There's a Baldwin. Is it Chuck?
It's Daniel.
Is it Delbert?
Daniel.
We're going to go Delbert Baldwin from here on.
Let's go Delbert Baldwin.
It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. If you love vampire movies and this is one that somehow you skipped, or if you're a big John Carpenter fan and this is a movie you haven't seen, give it a shot, but dampen your expectations because it's very oddly constructed. There's not as much really action as you would.
It's campy though, isn't it?
It's just weird. It's James Woods, like, propping up James Woods.
Yeah.
It's him just being like, I'm the baddest dude in the fucking planet. Move the fuck out of my way. The whole movie is
Here's
him.
what happened.
Yeah.
And this is straight from John Carpenter's mouth. James Woods called him and said, I'm always the number 2. My name is always the second name on the poster. I want my name to be the first movie on the poster. He said, so I'm the guy in this movie. And Carpenter's like, I don't give a shit. He's like, I'll make this movie. He's like, I'm sure they got, Marlboro Reds and, Lakers games on satellite, wherever the fuck they shot this movie. Which is the only 2 things he cares about. You know, like in his contract, if the Lakers make the playoffs, they can't shoot those days.
Is that James Woods or John Carpenter?
No,
Carpenter.
Yeah. If you hire him to make a movie and the Lakers make the playoffs, he's not coming to work.
Wow.
And this is like, I love John Carpenter. I do. I think his from the late 70s to the mid 80s, he's Big Trouble in Little China. You can't. I mean, he's, as far as genre directors go, especially that time, you can't beat it. But around this time, you could tell he did not give a shit. And I'll say he was probably firing about 45% attention in this movie.
Yeah. Oh,
This is not the thing, John Carpenter.
No.
This is my wife's the producer. We're only shooting 12 hours a day because after that I'm going to fucking bed. Who's got my cigarettes? That's pretty much what it is.
Have you seen Jay and Silent Bob? It Strikes Back. The first one. That was the first one, right? Jay and Silent Bob.
The first what, man? I don't know what you're saying.
So remember that scene where they've got Matt Damon and
with
Ben
Gus
Affleck?
Van Sant counting the money?
Yeah, and they just cut to Gus Van Sant count the money. That's John Carpenter in Vampires. I'm busy.
Pretty much.
Very much. It's just not. It's just not great. I actually think I enjoyed it though more this time than I did the first time I watched it, which was probably sometime around 98 or 99. The last thing that I watched was absolutely one of the most frightening experiences I've ever had trying to watch a movie.
What?
This was grotesque, nauseating.
What? Like good or like scared? Like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
What I watched was the new live-action Cats production.
Oh.
No, you didn't.
Well, no, I really didn't. So, and I had Jody pause it because she said, "Yeah, I want to watch that," and I was like, "Fuck it, just put it on. Let's see what happens." At the 4:17 mark in the movie, 4 minutes and 17 seconds into the movie, Jody said that she couldn't watch anymore. At this point, I was already in the fetal position on the floor with projectile vomit and a large pillow over my face. I couldn't hear it anymore or look at it anymore. It made me dizzy and nauseated almost immediately because of the way that it looks. And this, in my eyes, in some ways, in some sick little fucker's brain, this is true horror. It's the weirdest looking effect, man. Like, we were watching it and both of us were like swaying on the couch, our heads like this, because the movements made you fucking dizzy. It was like being on a goddamn ship in the middle of the ocean. It was absolutely horrifying. I don't know who directed it.
Tom Hooper. He did Les Miserables and The King's Speech.
What was that first one?
Yeah.
Go ahead one more time, Fanny Pack.
The Miserable. How about that?
Les Miserables.
Yeah,
that was... Well, here's the thing. When I was in high school, I was a freshman in high school, and I was a violin player in the orchestra, and we went to New York and played some shows up there, and we saw Cats at an off-Broadway theater. So that was my only experience with it. I thought it was really fucking weird then, when I was 15, and it was the sketchiest shit I have ever attempted to watch in my entire fucking life.
Wow, that is fucking crazy. I mean, I've heard some horror stories, but I will never watch it.
I was looking to see if they had cat butts, but I guess they just blurred out the cat butts because they are very cat-like, but, man, creepy and weird and just... don't go there, man. Just don't do it. It's that bad. It really is. And that's all I watch. The only other thing I watch is the 99-cent special I've got lined up for later.
Okay. Cats, man. You fucking watched Cats.
I watched 4 minutes and 17 seconds of it.
That's all you got? 4 minutes?
4 minutes and 17
Did they have
seconds.
opening credits?
I don't fucking remember, man.
All right.
It's like I got Silver Shamrock.
It was
like really.
It was. Welcome, kids, to the Cats presentation of Dramamine.
Yeah, like.
Be sure to take your Dramamine.
When Jody was like, "Turn it off! I can't watch this anymore," I was already.
Turn it off!
I might have been.
Turn it off!
I might have been having a stroke. I'm not even sure exactly what happened. I kind of blacked out a little bit, to be quite honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing is they're still renting that movie. They still just haven't given it up to Prom and said, "Hey, just go here. Whoever wants to see this."
Absolutely unfucking watchable.
Well, all right. So this is what I watched. My first pick for the week was probably one of the best that I've seen in a long time. You know exactly what it was. I've been waiting for this one because my man Aaron Sorkin directed and wrote it. Aaron Sorkin has wrote great ones like Moneyball, The West Wing, The Social Network. He got an Oscar for The Trial of the Chicago 7, and it's it's about all the people that were involved with the uprising right before in Chicago, like right before the Democratic National Convention.
Barat is in that as well.
That's correct, and he's playing
also known as Borat.
Borat.
Right.
Okay, and he's however he's B. Hoffman, or otherwise known as Abby Hoffman in this, and he's brilliant. This movie's brilliant. It actually also has Lee's favorite guy, the English dude that's not done yet, Eddie Redmayne. He's in this. Alex Sharp, Jeremy Strong, John Carroll Lynch, one of my favorites. Mark Rylance, fantastic. He used to be a G guy. Older guy's great. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It is fantastic. It's, of course, dialogue-driven because it's Aaron Sorkin. But it is 2 hours and 9 minutes, and it's just sharp. It's just every scene keeps you hanging on. Every scene it gets out when it's supposed to get out, and on to the next scene. It's fantastic. It's on Netflix. I employ everybody to watch this movie. It is fantastic, and it's fantastically written because it's Aaron Sorkin, and you got to see it.
Aaron Sorkin could write a fucking SpongeBob cartoon, and you wouldn't be able to look away.
You're right.
Okay,
you're right.
I know you love him.
Dude, he's great.
I agree.
I mean, the American president, like just his dialogue and the way he tells a story.
I never thought that movie would ever be brought up on this podcast.
The American president.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about
A Few Good Men. You can't tell me that that's not good.
I did.
You love The Newsroom. I remember you telling me how much you love
I'm not bagging on him.
Why are you're just bagging on me? You're like
yes, I'm just giving you shit.
Like a chud monster coming out of the fucking sewer when I come up. It's like nighttime and get ready to tell my stories, and you come out of the fucking sewer.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like a troll. Yeah. God damn.
Calm down.
All right, whatever. All right, so then, see, now you got me flustered. All right, and so then, the next one I watched, I actually watched a couple weeks ago and forgot to review it because it really wasn't all that important. But it's Antonio Campos, Devil All the Time. Has Tom Holland in it and Bill Skarsgård. Man, it had so much potential, but it just never picked up. It just drug on. Robert Pattinson. It's
Robert Patterson. Is he related to Robert Pattinson? Because he should be. Because they're the same fucking person. God damn.
Right. Okay, sorry. Right. I must be.
Just say new Batman. Everybody knows who the fuck you're talking about at that point.
This is making me. I'm like developing a speech impediment.
I think I'm helping it.
Robert Pattinson. But it's a very slow, grinding drama, and the script is okay, but nothing ever really happens. Like, it's just a bunch of bad people doing a bunch of bad stuff in backwoods South. back in the 30s, and I don't know. It's just
okay.
It's one of those movies where I kept waiting. Like, when's this going to happen? And nothing really happened.
I've read a couple of reviews that are very similar to what you just said, that it's like, you've got all the pieces there.
Oh, it's great.
Like, all the actors are there.
Sets are
and everybody does a great job, but just collectively, it doesn't
It's
work.
the story. It just ends, and it's kind of like, oh, really? I did 2.5 hours of this?
It happens sometimes.
It does.
That's the reason that I have not watched it yet.
Yeah. Well, and then of course after my little Danielle Harris week last week, I decided to check out Halloween 4. When Michael Myers comes back. And
That's so odd you said that, because I was flipping the channels the other day, and on like TBS or something was Halloween 5 starring Danielle Harris.
That's right. Well, she did all of them after 4. Up until Jamie Curtis came back. I mean, they've had so many now. I mean, this one was the return of Michael Myers. They brought Donald Pleasance back.
This was 89, right? 88, 89?
Yes, it was 88. Yep. It wasn't bad. I mean, I'm sure back then, I'm sure I liked it much more back then than I did this time.
Right.
It's one of the better sequels. It's better than 5.
Oh, absolutely.
5 was shit.
Yep, absolutely. So, but everybody's talked about Halloween 4. We've talked about Halloween movies to death, so we won't go into it. But yes, if you haven't seen Halloween 4, check it out. It is all a slasher movie for the Halloween season that you can handle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. So, what are we gonna do next? What's coming down the pipeline, guys? Are we doing skinheads? Are we doing spies? What are we doing?
Spy heads.
We're going to do spy heads?
I like it.
Okay, I like it.
Well, we were talking about doing, spy-centric, non-Bond, because we've been dying to do Bond movies for the last, goddamn, 5 or 6 months.
Almost a year.
Yeah,
almost a year. Anybody that doesn't know or hasn't listened to us, I'll footnote it. We were going to do our favorite Bond movie leading into the new movie, and then go do a live show after watching the new James Bond. However, the pandemic showed up.
Fucking COVID again.
COVID kind of has ruined that. MGM has pushed it back. So now do we do spy movies now? When is that James Bond coming out?
Fucking
next
Easter, man.
Easter.
Yeah, it's been pushed again to Easter.
So if we did
Easter ... question mark.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, MGM just pushed back that. Jennifer, I just lost her last name. They had Aretha Franklin biopic over there. And they just pushed it back for 7 months.
I saw it got pushed, and I think they were doing a sequel to the newest Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And it was slated to come out in 2021, and I'm sure they'll come back to it at some point, but as of right now today, it's like, we'll see it. We'll get to it when we get to it. Which is unfortunate, because I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the newer Tomb Raider movie. I
When it came out 2018?
Yeah, I thoroughly liked it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I was like, this is all right. If you've not seen it, check it out.
Okay. Well, we'll figure out what we're going to do next week. What's your 99 cent, man?
99 cent. I had seen this trailer or little thing on Netflix. I really don't get on Netflix as much as I used to. I saw this movie, and I watched the trailer for it and was in the mood to watch something I thought was going to be kind of light, and it was. 2019 movie called We Summon the Darkness. Basically, it takes place in, I think it's 1988, 87, 88. And, these 3 chicks are going to, go see, this heavy metal concert. And when they're on their way there, this fucking van comes and passes them, and, somebody throws something out of the the van, it's like somebody throws a drink out of it like a chocolate milkshake. They think it's poop. And when they get to the venue, they see the same van, and one of the girls has some fireworks, and she lights it and throws it into a cracked window, and then these three guys come out, these three metalheads, and the six of them go in and watch this show. I don't even remember who the music act was. I don't know if it was a real one or not. I can't recall. Anyway, so they come out, and the guys are like, hey, let's hang out, and the girls are like, yeah, all right. So from that point, and it's very light up until that point, but from that point, everything changes, and it becomes something quite a bit different, and it's a pretty fucking slickly made movie. Pretty neat.
We summons the night?
No. No. I never said that.
What did you?
We summon the darkness.
The darkness.
It's on Netflix from 2019. Not great, but
slickly done.
Yeah, it's got Johnny Knoxville in it, and you can't go wrong with a little Knoxville action. Some of it is a little bit, this is complete fucking bullshit. This could never happen or would never happen, but I still enjoyed it. Like, at the end, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah.
Was that what you watched after Cats?
To clean up my soul.
Yeah.
To get me back normal, where I wasn't so sick.
God, man, that was the worst fucking 4 minutes and 17 seconds of my life, man. Watching anything that was as bad as anything. It was like watching a fucking Gaspar Noé film condensed into a 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Like, that's how sickened I was, and just like, I like just wanted to fucking die. It's fucking horrifying. Terrible. Terrible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll get out of history.
I did check out, just fucking around the other night. I put on House of a Thousand Corpses just to see if I could make it to the end. I did make it to the end.
We went and saw that in the theater.
So maybe Garrick and I went and saw it in the theater. And I understand now why when we walked out of that movie theater, we were like, man, that was really cool. I understand it now.
It's stylized.
And some of House of a Thousand Corpses I still enjoy. Some of the characters and all that, and some of the dialogue and all. But, man, I understand why you bag on him like you do. And I just, I get it now. And I watched 31. I also watched 31 a couple of weeks ago.
It's the same movie.
It is House of a Thousand Corpses Part 2, but worse. Somehow it's fucking worse and more pointless.
And that they said
31 doesn't have the line, "Who are you, Jimmy Olsen, reporter for the Daily Asshole?"
Yeah.
Which is one of the best lines in movie history.
It is. It is.
Me and my friends said that for years. Somebody would ask a question and we would just throw that at them. And it would be people who had never seen the movie. They would just be like, "What?" Yeah. So whatever Rob Zombie did, he did write that very funny line.
Yeah.
Fuck
or maybe
your
that
daddy.
old guy just improvised it.
Fuck your mama and fuck you.
Yeah. It just and maybe a lot of the stuff that has kind of survived from that movie, Sid Haig and a lot of his line. I don't know if all that stuff was scripted or if it was just him off the cuff, man. Neither would really surprise me, but I like to think that Haig kind of
spiced that up.
Yeah. Did a lot of that on his own.
Yeah, Rob didn't. Bill Moseley probably too.
Oh, Moseley for sure.
I mean, I'm sure he improv'd a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, and I'm sure Rob was like, "Do your thing." Or,
yeah, like here's what's happening.
Let's just get from point A to point B and figure it out.
And that's what I was going to say. That's what I enjoy about watching that movie is watching Sid Haig and watching Bill Moseley just do their shit. Man.
Right. And everything else is terrible.
Yeah. And then I guess, what was the second thing with all those people in it.
Devil's Rejects.
Right. That I did not enjoy, and I think a few months ago we talked about The Three from Hell, and it's just fucking... It's the worst.
It's the same movies.
Yeah.
It's the same characters. Look at Halloween. It's this. You got the loud guys screaming at what they're abusing women. It's all the same shit. It's the same characters, different people playing them. Even the tones are the same.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity to just shit talk Rob Zombie for a minute.
I've already done it.
That's really the only reason I brought it up.
But it's the truth. Like, and he's been able to make those movies because of who he is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, man.
Some of his stylization I like. Like I liked, like the new Halloween movie he did. The mask motif he had. You know, where Michael's in his room and he builds masks. Like, and I like some I mean, who doesn't like Captain Spaulding? I mean, that's freaking awesome. I would make a movie. I'm not sure why he didn't just do a Captain Spaulding movie. I would have gone to see that. It just...
Yeah.
His style, like the fun houses and the horror, just some of the stuff he does is great. It's just the same fucking movie over and over again. Yeah. And The House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite because it was the first time we'd seen it. And I was like, that was pretty good for Rob Zombie.
For a first-time fucking director.
And I remember saying that. I remember sitting in my little room, or my little house, behind that house. We came back, we were probably getting some beer or something, and Mandy was in there. And she said, how was it? And I said, man, it was pretty good. Like, for him, first time, like, the way it was done, it was pretty damn good.
But there were scenes that I remember, like, sitting in the theater and being like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And having that kind of like dread about it because I didn't know what to expect. To now I've gotten to a point where I've seen it enough times to where it's almost like some of the build-ups are...
The whole rape...
They're like laughable. It's like, God damn.
Yeah, I remember that movie the raping parts where I felt like somebody was going to get raped. There was a lot of loom for that. Like I just felt a lot of dread for that. It just felt like that kind of movie.
Yeah.
But... Well, Halloween will be over at the end of today. And we will be into...
What are we fucking doing, Spies?
The Christmas season.
We're going to be into Thanksgiving first, motherfucker.
I don't think there's any good Thanksgiving.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween.
Thank you for watching Tales from the Video Store number 87. Sponsored by Ridge Journal. Now, make sure you watch Silver Shamrock's presentation of Rob Zombie's Halloween. That way, you know that this is the only year, like 2020 has been, that you would ever watch some piece of shit like that.